Weathersby, and this is my web series review for Social Medium. Social Medium is a vlog, mockumentary style series about Beatrix who can communicate with ghosts through technology. So, for example, a ghost haunting somebody's computer, a poltergeist that's messing with somebody's cell phone, stuff like that. Some things that I really liked about this web series were I thought the concept was really fun, especially for a transmedia or a vlog style series. The inclusion of technology with supernatural elements and kind of drawing it further into more meta sort of experience. I thought that was really cool. I also just thought that the series itself was really quirky and cute, like all the villains and everything, and it didn't get super dark. I just thought that in general the humor was really on point. It felt very light and fun, which sometimes with supernatural series you can see a lot of darker thematic elements. There's a lot of questions about power and morality, the responsibility that comes with having a lot of power and having these abilities that a lot of other people don't have. So it was kind of nice to see this series focus on a more fun and lighthearted view of a supernatural elements. The main character was very fun and quirky. She was easy to root for. And the rest of the characters were also a lot of fun, and I felt that everybody had a lot of chemistry between actors. Some things I didn't like was the overacting at the beginning. I felt that it was a little heavy-handed. As time went through, it started to feel more natural, but I would definitely say that at the beginning, the overacting didn't quite mesh with the natural look of the series. By the end, it definitely had settled a lot more. You hear this critique from me a lot. There is a very noticeable lack of LGBT and non-white characters. I just feel like that is a very blatant oversight in a web series. So that's just another thing that I don't like, because it is a very common issue that a lot of web series have, and I think it's one that needs to be seriously addressed. Even ones that are low budget. I think a lot of people view having a lower budget, especially during a first season, as a good reason not to be very inclusive, but I personally think that that is a little bit of a cop-out. I also didn't really like the love triangle. I thought all the characters in the love triangle were really interesting. I liked that we got to see the relationship between Beatrix and her boyfriend, and how maybe though it isn't ideal and it kind of fits the type of relationship that we automatically would assume is like bad, I think it was a really interesting that we got to see a little bit of her boyfriend's point of view, and we get to see him as more sympathetic. But in general, I just feel like love triangles are very distracting in a lot of ways. It has been done so many times, and because of that, it's really easy to get bored with it, because when you go through the exact same type of plot that we've seen a million times before in movies and books and TV shows, it can just be very difficult to make it new and make it interesting. So I feel like the love triangle also wasn't very fleshed out. I would watch this series if you like very fun and lighthearted supernatural series. There's a lot of minor incidents that are grouped within the series, so if you're like more of like episode of the week or monster of the week or whatever it's called, if you like those sort of shows and you feel like you prefer that to a more overarching story, then I would definitely suggest this series. And if you prefer contemporary settings, series that are set in the big city instead of something that's more historic, or something that maybe would be considered more typical for a supernatural series, so like a haunted house, then I would definitely watch this series. If you prefer a supernatural series that has more of a darker, creepier, more world building in terms of the supernatural origins, then I would maybe watch another series. It doesn't also really go in a lot in depth to where Beatrix's powers come from. And if you prefer arcs that span over the entirety of the series and not so much a few episodes on focusing on one thing and then moving on to another thing, then I would maybe look for another series that has more of that format. Also, if you prefer series that are more TV style instead of vlog style, you feel like, especially with mystery type series or series that involve a lot of action, then this might not be the web series for you. I will say though, I was pleasantly surprised with special effects, especially considering that their first season budget was so small. It was actually a remarkably interesting use of effects. It definitely worked with the series. It didn't make me like take me out of the moment and like make me just I thought it looked really good. So if you think that I said things you do agree with, things that you don't, please don't be afraid to share them in the comments. As always, I'm looking for more web series to review, so don't be afraid to send me recommendations. And I also have a Tumblr that I'll put in the link, as well as the web series that I just reviewed, so please don't hesitate to send me questions, recommendations, discuss with me, anything on there.